Welcome, folks. Kendall here with Manosa Pros and Joes, back with the next installment of the bathroom planning series. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the benefits to doing a bathroom remodel. Now, if you saw the first video, we talked about some of the considerations to keep in mind with regards to time. If you've not seen that video, I'll have a link to that here somewhere around on the page, and be sure to check that one out. In this video, we're going to start with some of the nuts and bolts benefits, and then we're going to move through to some that you may not have considered or may need reinforcement on. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just from an infrastructural standpoint, some of the benefits that you can address or be able to reap the benefits from are going to be, number one, making plumbing upgrades. So if you've got an old faucet at your vanity that is constantly leaking and you want to replace that, now would be a great time to do that. If you've got a vanity that is old and worn out, this would be a great time to do that as well. If you've got a sink that's lost its color and everything else like that, and it's kind of faded, this would be a great time to address that. Some of the more difficult things to address are shower valves and shower controls. If you're in a house that has no access on the back side of that shower, then you're pretty much stuck with what you've got installed there, whether it's 10 or 15 years old, or if it's 50 or 60 or 70 years old. A lot of times that's going to involve doing quite a bit of extensive plumbing work to be able to replace what you've got there without having to replace the entire thing. So that's another thing you want to consider. Now, another bonus or benefit to being able to do a bathroom renovation is going to be having the opportunity to put in a better tub. Now, if you've got an older bathroom, one thing that you probably notice that it suffers from, particularly if it's a much older bathroom, is that that tub that you've got in there isn't really deep enough to soak, especially by modern standards. And so this will give you an opportunity to pull that tub out and get one that's going to be soaking depth so that you can kind of submerge yourself in there and really enjoy that space. Additionally, if you've got a more modern bathroom, maybe one that's from the 90s or even the early 2000s, you may have a garden tub, but that garden tub may not give you any of the features that you want, such as being able to heat the water or have jets or the air bubbles and things like that. This gives you the opportunity to also upgrade and make those type of changes. Now, all the changes that we've mentioned so far can more or less be done a la carte in most instances. However, once you take the project to a certain scope, it becomes kind of a toss-up of whether or not you should go ahead and do the entire bathroom, kind of a cost-benefit situation, if you will, because there kind of becomes diminishing returns with regards to the return on your investment. If you go in there and you do all the work to replace the tub, but then you don't have all the rest of the bathroom upgraded to match the tub. So something else that you want to keep in mind. Additionally, something that you may not have thought about, the bathroom renovation also gives you the opportunity to go ahead and add things like heating and air vents. If you got a central heating and cooling system that may not have the bathroom included on its system, it's an excellent time to be able to do that. If you've got broken tiles or damaged walls and things like that, this is an excellent time to be able to go in there and address this as well. Also, if you need additional towel bars and towel rings, toilet paper holders, things like that, this is an excellent time to be able to do that, as well as adding light fixtures, because that's one of the things that can drastically improve the overall feel of that space, is having adequate lighting. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Now, one more thing that most people do not think of when it comes to making upgrades, and one of the huge benefits that you can be able to experience by doing a bathroom renovation, is going to be having a high quality bathroom fan. And this is going to serve more than one purpose. One of them you obviously already know: when people are using that bathroom, you're going to be able to get a lot of that stale air, if you will, out of the space. Another thing that will also allow you to do is to remove moisture from that space when you're showering. If you're taking long baths, you've got a lot of humidity that can build up in that space, and you want to be able to get that out of the space so that it does not damage your walls and your paint, or even your vanity and things like that that may be made out of wood. You want to be able to keep that humidity down at a minimum as best as possible. So the next benefit that you also have with doing a bathroom renovation is going to be quality of life. Now, if you're someone who does a lot of traveling or goes on vacation frequently and you've got an outdated bathroom, you'll probably be able to relate to what I'm about to say. Because if you go to another bathroom in a hotel and you're doing traveling and you're in these nice palatial bathrooms with showers and everything in them that are big enough to have a party in, and then you have to go back to your bathroom and it's in a tiny little cramped in space, or everything is old and dingy and dirty, It's just not nearly as exciting, especially when you're coming back from somewhere else. Even if you're someone that just travels regularly for work, when you have to come back home to that space, it can really give you the blues. And so doing a bathroom renovation can definitely give you a higher quality of living with regards to that. Another thing to also keep in mind is going to be confidence. Now, this is one of the things that I had to learn firsthand, and I actually learned it in reverse order. I went from having a really nice bathroom to one that was not so nice at one point in life, and I always took it for granted until I experienced the latter, obviously, right? And so if you've got a nicer bathroom space, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable to get ready to go places and things like that. As well as when you've got company coming over and things like that, you don't really have to think about their perception of what that space looks like, because you already know that everything is good to go, and it really can become more of a showpiece rather than a sore thumb, if you will. Now, another thing that you also want to keep in mind is going to be that, in my experience, a new bathroom is much easier to keep clean and clean than an older one is. It's something about that new paint on the walls and on the baseboards just makes the dust a lot easier to get up, as well as just having the new fresh tile and surfaces. Even if you're not going with tile, whatever your flooring is, it just makes it a lot easier to keep it clean when it's new. And additionally, you have a lot more motivation to keep it clean, because once you do all your cleanup in that bathroom, your end result is going to be much better, because you're basically going to be back to having a showroom ready bathroom versus your, older dated bathroom, which is what you'll be left with when you normally clean that space, right? It's nice and clean, but it still doesn't look the way that you wish it did. On to the next benefit. One more with regards to quality of living, and this kind of ties into our next benefit, is if you're going to be doing an addition, that additional bathroom can really improve the quality of living in your space, particularly if you're going from one bathroom to two. Because if you've got one bathroom in a home and you've got kids or you've got roommates and everyone has to revolve around this one bathroom, it's pretty much going to be a full-time job just trying to keep the bathroom space somewhat clean. And if you could add a second bathroom in that property, then that's going to greatly cut down on the traffic in that one space and really the wear and tear as well. And you'll be able to establish some level of privacy, hopefully, when you've got more than one bathroom. So that's a huge upgrade. Also, along that same vein, and I'm sure that you probably already had this on your list, is going to be the return on your investment. And so in many instances, the remodel of that bathroom can result in an increase in property value, but that is something that you would definitely want to take up with your local real estate agent. So if you're going to be doing a bathroom renovation or renovations in general with regards to preparing to put a property on the market, whether it's now or in the near future, that's something that you want to consider if that dollar amount is going to be such that you want to be able to ensure that you've got a return on it. Now, some people just want the bathroom and they really don't care if there's a return on that investment or not. So if you don't fall into that category and you want to kind of get the most bang for your buck, or at least have a good idea of where your overall dreams and ideas lie, and being able to balance that against the reality of what you can expect with a return on that investment, then definitely look into that as well. The next benefit we're going to talk about, I like to call bragging rights. Now, bragging rights can manifest itself in a number of ways, but now that you've done this bathroom renovation, your life is going to be a little bit different when you have friends and family over. Now, when you have your holiday parties and your kids' birthdays, that space that used to stick out like a sore thumb or used to be the elephant in the room has now become a conversation piece now. And it's really become a showpiece as well. And so when you have guests over, that's going to be something that people are going to ask you about, and that's going to give you an opportunity to tell all of your renovation stories and everything else like that. You can also use those bragging rights online, whether you choose to share pictures or videos and things like that on your Facebook or Instagram or other social media. Now, if you're interested in learning more about some of the more detailed elements of bathroom renovations, I've got two videos here that I'd like to recommend to you. One is more for doing bathroom renovations for houses that are going to be on a concrete slab. Now, if you live in California, I know that's a very, very common occurrence, and some of the other places in the Midwest as well. I'm here in Atlanta. We do have a lot of houses here on slab as well, but most of our homes that are on slab are going to be newer houses. Now, the second video is going to be about renovating a small bathroom. This is going to be good for adding a small bathroom, particularly if you're going to be doing an addition within an existing space without actually adding square footage to the house. So enjoy both of those, and I'll see you all in the next one.